You know, it is a tremendous honor to be in the company of the hardest working, most productive, highly skilled workers in the world, right here in this room. I want to thank President Sean McGarvey, who came to Jefferson City and addressed thousands of our workers at our building trades rally last year at the Missouri State Capitol, and especially our friends from Missouri who are here with us today. Thank you for the Show Me State's great delegation here. Now, as governor of Missouri, I'd like to share a perspective from the heartland, where the men and women of the building trades are helping build a brighter future for everyone. So let me quickly tell you who I am, what I believe in, and what we're doing in the Show Me State. Now, I carried a union card for 7 years as a laborer working construction. To this day in my office, I have the shovel that the guys gave me on my last day of the job. I was heading off that summer. The second half of the summer was to work as a law clerk, and they gave me this shovel, a used shovel. Every other politician has brand new shiny shovels. I got that one in there. It helped me defrost the freezer one time in my apartment. But they gave me that shovel and they asked me to never forget that it was the working people who built this country and made it great. And my brothers and sisters in the building trades taught me about the dignity and the pride of doing a hard day's work and the value of a skilled and organized workforce. Now, for generations, union workers fought and died for the rights the rest of the world is still catching up to. The right to a safe and humane workplace, the right to compensation if you're hurt on the job, the right to fair wages, the 40-hour work week, child labor laws, sick pay, health insurance, the weekend. This list of hard-fought victories won by the labor movement goes on and on. Those victories lifted the living standards of working families everywhere. I should note union and non-union. When we rise, everybody rises. And those policies and those leaders gave rise to America's middle class, the backbone of the strongest economy in the world. But some folks seem to have forgotten that and want to roll back those rights. Now, I don't have to tell anyone in this room about the challenges confronting union labor in America today. But the question is, how do we compete and win in a global economy without giving up the rights you sweated and bled for? We won't do that with a race to the bottom on wages. We won't compete and win paying workers $1 a day. We got to keep on fighting for the single mom pulling double shifts to provide for her family, fighting for the laborer working nights and weekends to pay the mortgage and save enough to send his kids to college, fighting for the construction worker who deserves to retire with dignity after a lifetime of toil. These are the folks who are the foundation of a strong middle class and a strong economy all across our great country. Now, in Missouri, building things is what we do. We build tough, we build safe, we build to last. In 1956, year I was born, union workers poured the first stretch of interstate highway in the nation in St. Charles County, Missouri. In 1962, union workers at McDonnell Aircraft in St. Louis built the Mercury spacecraft carrying the first American astronaut to orbit the Earth. In 1965, union workers stood atop an arc of stainless steel, 630 feet high, and lowered that keystone in place in the Gateway Arch. Now, and as governor of Missouri, I am worked to carry on that proud tradition. We build things, okay? When I took office in 2009, on the heels of the worst recession in our lifetime, Missouri was the first state to start construction on a transportation project funded by the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act first. Union labor rebuilt the Tuscumbia Bridge, first built by union hands during the Roosevelt administration. But we certainly weren't going to stop there. To break the grip on the recession, we were going to build things. I remember like yesterday at 7 a.m. on a Monday morning, I got every building trades manager in the state on the phone in the governor's residence. And I said, we've got more dollars coming. Let's move this money out, turn some dirt, and put folks back to work. And that is exactly what we did, building water plants, sewer plants, and putting thousands of highly skilled workers on the job and driving Missouri's unemployment rate below the national average for 55 straight months. People working. And while this Keystone Pipeline is still gridlocked here in D.C., back in Missouri, oil is flowing right now through a $1 billion Enbridge pipeline, okay? Completed this past December, it created 1,800 good-paying union jobs, and it's done, okay? All during a debate, we're done, it's working. Thank you for the work the folks did, on time, under budget, very professional. A few short years ago, the American auto industry was on the ropes. When I got elected governor, the first order I signed was an executive order for an auto jobs task force. Not a lot of people buying cars in January 2009. And I couldn't get the legislature to get this work done that we needed to do. So I called them back into a special session. I called them back for the summer. I want to admit here in public, I did not allow them to get time and a half for that overtime. Our job was to bring next generation auto jobs back to the show me state. Where are we today? Today, after that act, and your members and those folks from Missouri's hard work, today the top 3 pickups in the country, the Chevy Colorado, the GMC Canyon, and the Ford F-150 are rolling off the line in Kansas City and Wentzville, all built by the UAW, okay? Please feel free to buy a new one of any of the 3. They're great vehicles. But the folks that are building those UAW members that are building those new trucks, they're working at new plants built by your members. A nearly $2 billion bet by automakers on the future of American auto manufacturing. When I had to do that deal, we had to meet timelines. And the only way to get that done was to reach out to your leaders and say, let's get this done on time. Another example in Missouri, the Stan Musial Bridge over the Mississippi River in St. Louis, completed on time and under budget. It's a shining example of what only union labor can accomplish. Travelers on that bridge could soon see a brand new $1 billion NFL stadium built with union labor on a revitalized riverfront in St. Louis. Yeah. Hope the draft goes well this week. But these guys right here, my Missouri friends, because of the aggressive timelines, they agreed to work 24 hours a day to build that stadium so we can meet the NFL skies. 24 hours a day. I thank you for coming to the table and making that agreement, okay? You know, there's some people out there who say we support people for office, and then folks get in office. What do they do that actually touches our members? Nixon gets up here and he makes this flowery speech, and I mean, we're doing a lot of good things. But let me tell you really practically, when you have chief executives, things you can do. Since I've been governor, we've identified more than 38,000 misclassified workers. 38,000. Okay? 38,000. We've uncovered more than $7.8 million in unpaid unemployment insurance taxes. We've gone after them if they don't pay their unemployment, okay? And one I'm especially proud of, enforcing the prevailing wage laws. We put more than $6.5 million in the pockets of folks who deserved an honest day's pay for an honest day's work. Director McKenna and my team at the Department of Labor, even if that check's $100 because somebody didn't get paid the right wage in some place in rural Missouri, we chase them down, and we get that $100. It may take us a while, but we put that in the hands of the person that sweated and worked on that job and deserves a living wage, okay? We're going to keep chasing them down. The building trades achievement that makes me proudest is down in the southwest corner of our state in Joplin, though. In May 2011, an EF5 tornado struck that community, destroyed 7,500 homes, almost 1,000 businesses, leveled entire neighborhoods, 161 people killed. We made a commitment to rebuild Joplin stronger, better, and safer. And you know, there were a whole lot of folks that wanted to do it on the cheap. But we made sure that the folks who were building those new schools and safe rooms and hospitals were paid the prevailing wage so we could guarantee that we would have the high quality. So what does this show? Simply says that the Show Me State's better because we're union. And so is America. And that's why I share your grave concerns about the Trans-Pacific Partnership, or TPP. Now, trade isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's a good thing. As governor, I've gone all over the world to sell products that are union-made and Missouri-grown. On my watch, as the governor of Missouri, exports from the Show Me State have reached record levels. No year's higher than 2 out of the last 3, highest ever. We got to compete and win in a global economy. We all know that. But we simply don't win by lowering our standard of living, giving up on workers' rights, or signing trade deals that put American workers at a disadvantage. We are leaders. American workers work hard and play by the rules. All they want is a fair shake and a fair shot. If a trade agreement makes it easier to outsource jobs and doesn't hold foreign countries to the same standards we have here in the U.S., then it's not good for American workers, and quite simply, I'm not for it, okay? It's just... And as we stand together to make sure our brothers and sisters don't become casualties of a global race to the bottom, we certainly can't ignore the threats closer to home, including my home state of Missouri. Over the past few years, with growing anti-labor majorities in the House and Senate, the Missouri legislature has passed bills to make it harder for people who have gotten hurt to get hired, to make harder for people to get unemployment benefits, and to make it easier for corporations to discriminate against and fire their workers. Now, to defend the rights of working people, I have never been afraid to use my veto pen, okay? I vetoed every one of those labor bills, anti-labor bills, and we held those vetoes. But the tide's shifting. The special interests who have rolled back workers' rights in state after state have now set their sights on Missouri. We've seen it in Idaho and Indiana, Oklahoma and Wisconsin, even Michigan. Now the Missouri legislature, like so many others across the nation, is moving backward with an effort to make Missouri the 26th so-called right-to-work state. For the first time in Missouri history, a right-to-work bill passed the Missouri House. And if the Senate does the same, I'd ask everybody here to mark your calendars for our veto session on September 16th. And we're going to need everybody here. Thank you. And you know, for those of historians here, we've been through this fight again in Missouri. We're going to need to send legislators a strong and unambiguous message, just like we did back in 1978, 36 years ago. The people of Missouri they had a vote. They put it on a ballot. They spoke loud and clear when they defeated right to work overwhelmingly at the ballot box. I kind of remember that. just getting through college. I'd come home from work. I was driving a cinnamon-colored Gremlin with an orange racer stripe on it. Just a really sweet car, okay? Not really a magnet for activity after work, but I bought that car with union wages, though. And I put a bumper sticker on it that said, right to work is a ripoff. And it's true then, as right then as it is now. Right to work is wrong for Missouri, okay? And it is wrong for America, okay? So this is the moment we stem the tide. This is the moment, okay? Got 25 states, this is 26. This is the moment we stand together, shoulder to shoulder. America, right to work stops now in the Show Me state. Right here. The hands of union laborers built the mightiest nation on the planet. From the Golden Gate Bridge to the Trans-Alaska Pipeline, from Hoover Dam to Cape Canaveral. Union hands built our schools and hospitals, our highways and shipyards. When the Twin Towers fell, union workers volunteered alongside firefighters and police officers to help sort through the rubble. And from those ruins, union hands built the new World Trade Center. The history of the labor movement in this country is a story of hope, courage, and progress, of working people willing to stand together to take on powerful interests and fight for their rights, wherever and whenever they are threatened. Together, we will stand as tall and strong as the towering structures you've built and speak with one voice that union labor built the middle class built America, and together we're going to build a brighter future for all Americans. Let's keep fighting for working people of our great nation. Thank you, and God bless.